I'm 28 years old, working as software engineer at tech company downtown. Been dating my girlfriend Vanessa for 3 years now, and things great. She is 27, works in marketing, making decent money at agency. We move in together after 2 years and relationship is really solid. Around the 3-year mark, I propose to her at her favorite restaurant. She says yes, and we start planning the wedding for next year. Both our families are excited and supportive of us getting married. We start talking about all the details and logistics of planning. Few weeks after engagement, Vanessa brings up the idea of prenup. Says she has been reading about financial protection for women in marriage. Says she wants to make sure she is protected if things do not work. I say, okay, that makes sense. We can both protect our assets. She sends me article about how women lose financially in divorce often. Article talks about women giving up careers and then getting screwed later. Says prenups are feminist tool to protect women's independence and security. I agree that protection is smart and we should both be protected. We make appointment with lawyer to discuss prenup and get it drafted. Lawyer asks what we want to protect and how we want to divide. Vanessa says she wants to keep all her current assets separate forever. Says she also wants her future income protected as her own money. Lawyer asks if I also want to protect my current assets and income. I say yes, that seems fair if we are both protecting ourselves. Vanessa interrupts and says that is not the point of this prenup. Says prenup is to protect her independence, not to protect me too. Ask her what she means by that and why I should not protect myself. She says women are vulnerable in marriage and need protection more than men. Says men typically benefit from marriage financially, while women lose out historically. Lawyer looks uncomfortable and says prenup should be fair to both parties. Vanessa gets annoyed and says she does not want typical patriarchal prenup. Says she wants one that specifically protects her from financial harm only. Lawyer explains that extremely one-sided prenups can be thrown out in court. Says both parties need some protection for it to be considered valid. Vanessa says she will find different lawyer who understands feminist prenups. Then we leave the office and she is angry about the whole meeting. Says the lawyer was just protecting patriarchal interests, not helping women. I say the lawyer was just trying to make sure prenup is legally valid. She finds new lawyer who specializes in women's financial rights in marriage. Makes appointment, and we go to meet with her next week to discuss. New lawyer is woman maybe 50 years old and very focused on women issues. Vanessa explains she wants prenup that protects her assets and income only. New lawyer asks why the prenup should only protect one party here. Vanessa explains that women are disadvantaged in marriage and need special protection. Says men benefit from women's domestic labor without compensating them fairly. Says prenup is way to make sure she keeps her financial independence. Lawyer says she understands, but prenup still needs to have some fairness. Says if it is too one-sided, it can be challenged and invalidated. Vanessa asks what minimum protections I need for it to be valid. Lawyer looks at me and asks what assets I want to protect. Tell her I have about $80K in savings in my 401k and some stocks. Also have my car and personal belongings that are mine from before relationship. Vanessa interrupts and says I do not need to protect those things. Says men do not face same financial risks in marriage that women do. Ask her why my money is less important to protect than hers. Exactly. She says because society is set up to benefit financially already. Says I will be fine no matter what, but she could be screwed. Tell her that does not make sense. We both need protection equally. Lawyer tries to mediate and suggests we each keep premarital assets separate. Says income during marriage could be split fairly and retirement accounts protected. Vanessa says no. She wants her income during marriage protected too completely. Says she does not want to share any of her earnings with me. I ask what happens to my income during marriage, then in her plan. She says that would be marital property to be split if we divorce. Ask her how that is fair if her income is protected, but mine not. She says it is fair because it corrects for historical inequality against women. Tell her that makes no sense and is completely one-sided against me. She says I am being selfish and not understanding why women need this. Says if I really loved her, I would want to protect her financially. Tell her if she really loved me, she would not try to screw me. Lawyer looks very uncomfortable with where this conversation is going now. Says she cannot draft prenup. That is this one-sided because unethical. Says both parties need representation and fair terms or she cannot help. Vanessa gets angry and says she is betraying women by not helping. We leave and Vanessa is furious about the second lawyer refusing to help. Says both lawyers are brainwashed by patriarchy into protecting men's interests. I say both lawyers are trying to make sure prenup is actually legal. She says I am siding with the lawyers against her, which is telling. We get home and have huge fight about the whole prenup situation. She says she needs this protection, and I am being unreasonable refusing. I say I'm not refusing prenup. I'm refusing one-sided prenup. She says one-sided is the whole point because women need more protection. Ask her point blank if she thinks it is fair that I get no protection. She says fairness is not about everyone getting same thing. It is about equity. Says equity means giving more to people who have been disadvantaged historically. Tell her I am not responsible for historical disadvantages and deserve fair treatment. She says that attitude is exactly why women need these protections from men. Says I am showing my true colors by refusing to protect her financially. Tell her she is showing her true colors by trying to exploit me. She starts crying and says I do not understand what women go through. Few days of tension and she sends me drafted prenup. She wrote herself. Says she found template online for feminist prenup and filled it in. Read through it and it is even worse than what she described before. Literally says all her assets, income, and future earnings are hers alone. Says my assets from before marriage are marital property to be split. Says my income during marriage is marital property to be split equally. Says if we have kids and she takes time off, I owe her compensation. Says she gets the house if we divorce, regardless of who paid for it. Call her and ask if she is serious with this insane prenup draft. She says yes, and she already sent it to lawyer to formalize it. Tell her there is no way I'm signing something this one-sided. She says then maybe we should not get married if I do not trust her. Tell her this has nothing to do with trust and everything to do with fairness. She says fairness means protecting the vulnerable party, which is her as woman. Ask her how she is vulnerable when she makes almost same money as me. She says women are always vulnerable in patriarchal society, regardless of income. Ask her what would happen if I lose my job or get sick. She says that is different because men have more opportunities to recover from that. Tell her that is not true, and I would be just as screwed as anyone. She says I am being dramatic and refusing to see her perspective here. Tell her I see her perspective. She wants everything protected for her only. She says that is reductive, and I am missing the deeper point about gender. Tell her the deeper point is she wants prenup. That screws me completely. She hangs up on me and does not talk to me for 2 days. My mom calls and asks how wedding planning is going with everything. Tell her about the prenup situation and what Vanessa is demanding from me. My mom is shocked and says that is completely unfair and wrong. Says no son of hers should sign something that one-sided and exploitative. Ask my mom what she thinks I should do about this whole situation. She says I should seriously reconsider marrying someone who would demand this. Says the prenup shows Vanessa does not value me or see marriage as partnership. Says she is treating marriage like business deal where she wins everything. Talk to my dad about it, and he agrees with my mom completely. Says the prenup is red flag that she does not respect me or value me. Says women who love me would want fair terms for both of us. Tells me to really think hard about whether I want to marry her. Talk to my best friend Marcus about the whole prenup disaster happening. He says this is insane, and I should walk away from relationship now. Says prenup that one-sided shows she is planning for divorce already. Says she sees me as financial threat, not as partner in life together. Vanessa finally calls me and asks if I have thought about the prenup. Tell her yes, and there is no way I am signing it as written. She says she is willing to compromise on a few small things. Maybe ask her what compromises she is willing to make on the terms. She says I can keep my car and my personal belongings from before marriage, but everything else in the prenup stays the same as she wrote it. Tell her that is not a compromise, that is barely anything at all. She says she is trying to meet me halfway, but I'm being stubborn. Tell her halfway would be both of us protecting our assets equally and fairly. She says that defeats the purpose of having a feminist prenup for protection. Ask her why she needs feminist prenup instead of fair prenup for both. She says because marriage is patriarchal institution that harms women and needs correction. Tell her if marriage is so harmful to women, maybe she should not get married. She gets quiet for a minute and then says maybe I am right. Says maybe we are not compatible if I cannot understand her needs here. I say maybe we are not compatible if she thinks screwing me is acceptable. We meet up for coffee to talk about everything face to face. She says she has been thinking and the prenup is non-negotiable for her. Says she cannot marry someone without protection for her financial independence and security. Tell her I cannot marry someone who refuses to treat me fairly and equally. She says this is about feminism and women's rights, not about treating me unfairly. Tell her feminism should be about equality, not about exploiting your partner financially. She says I do not understand feminism or what women need from marriage. Tell her I understand she wants everything protected for her and nothing for me. Ask her point blank if she would sign prenup that only protected me. She says no because that would be unfair to her, obviously and clearly. Tell her exactly. So why would I sign one that only protects you? She says it is different because of historical context and power dynamics. Tell her I am not marrying historical context. I am marrying her supposedly. She says I am being willfully ignorant about how gender works in society. Tell her I am being realistic about how this prenup would screw me over. She says if I loved her, I would prioritize her safety over my money. Tell her if she loved me, she would not try to take advantage of me. She starts crying and says I'm making her the villain when she's just scared. Tell her I understand being scared, but one-sided prenup is not the answer. She says it is the only way she feels safe marrying a man. Ask her if she really sees me as threat just because I am man. She says not a threat, but men have all the power in marriage historically. Tell her we both work, we both make money, we both contribute equally here. She says visible equality does not erase centuries of oppression against women. Tell her I am not responsible for centuries of oppression. I am just me. She says that is privilege talking and exactly the problem with men. Stand up and tell her I cannot do this anymore with her. She asks what I mean, and I say I mean the wedding is off. She looks shocked and says I am breaking up with her over prenup. Tell her I am breaking up with her because she does not respect me. Tell her the prenup shows she sees me as walking ATM, not as partner. She says that is not true, and I am twisting her words and intentions. Tell her the prenup speaks for itself and shows exactly what she thinks. Tell her I deserve someone who wants to build life together, not exploit me. She starts crying harder and says I am abandoning her when she needs protection. Tell her she can protect herself just fine. She does not need me for that. Walk out of the coffee shop and drive home to my apartment alone. She texts me later saying she is willing to negotiate the prenup more. Tell her it is not about the prenup anymore. It is about respect. Tell her someone who respected me would never have proposed those terms. She calls me crying and begging me to reconsider ending the relationship. Says she loves me and does not want to lose me over this. Tell her she should have thought about that before demanding one-sided prenup. She says she can change and we can figure this out together. Tell her I do not trust her anymore after seeing how she thinks. Tell her the prenup revealed that she sees marriage as a way to protect herself from me. Tell her that is not what marriage should be and not what I want. She says I am being unfair and not giving her chance to fix this. Tell her there is nothing to fix. She showed me who she is. She says people make mistakes and she deserves another chance to make it right. Tell her this was not mistake. This was calculated plan to screw me. She denies it and says she was just scared and went too far. Ask her if she would have told me the prenup was unfair on her own. She goes quiet because we both know the answer is no. She would not. Tell her she only wants to negotiate now because I am leaving, not because she cares. She says that is not true, but she cannot prove it and we both know. Tell her I am done and I need her to move out of our apartment. She asks where she is supposed to go on such short notice like this. Tell her she can go to her parents or friend, but she cannot stay here. She says I am being cruel and heartless, kicking her out after 3 years. Tell she was willing to financially ruin me with prenup so we are even. She says that is not the same thing at all, and I am being vindictive. Tell her I am being practical. I cannot live with someone I do not trust. She agrees to move out, but says I will regret this decision later. She moves out over the next week and takes all her stuff with her. Mutual friends start reaching out, asking what happened between us and why. Tell them about the prenup and how one-sided it was against me. Some of them say I am right to leave, and some say I overreacted. Her friends especially. The women say I am being selfish and unsupportive of her. Say she just wanted protection, and I should have been willing to give that. Tell them she wanted protection for her and exploitation of me, which is different. They say I do not understand what women go through in marriage historically. My friends, especially the guys, say I dodged a bullet by leaving her. Say prenup that one-sided shows she was already planning to divorce me. Say women who love me would want fair terms, not terms that screw me. Feel validated that my decision was right, even though it hurts still. Vanessa posts on social media about how her ex refused to protect her financially. Makes it sound like I was against prenup entirely, not against unfair prenup. Her friends comment supporting her and calling me controlling and selfish. Clearly, I do not respond because I do not want to air our private issues publicly. Few of my friends screenshot the posts and send them to me asking. Tell them she is lying by omission about what the prenup actually said. They suggest I post my side, but I decide to take the high road. Better to let people who know me judge for themselves than argue online. Months go by and I hear through mutual friends that she is dating someone new. Apparently, she told him about the prenup situation from her perspective only. He thinks I am a terrible person for refusing to protect her financially in marriage. I just laugh because he has no idea what he is getting into with her. Friend tells me she is already talking about marriage with new boyfriend after few months. Says she is pushing for commitment really fast, which is unusual for her. I say she is probably trying to prove something after I left her, or she found someone more willing to sign her exploitative prenup terms. Year later, and I am dating someone new named Alicia, who is great. She works as a teacher, and we have been together for 6 months now. Conversation comes up about marriage and finances, and I tell her the whole story. She is shocked and says that prenup was completely insane and unfair to me. Alicia says if we ever get married, she would want fair prenup for both. Says we should both protect what we bring in and share what we build. Says that is what partnership means, not one person exploiting the other. Feels so relieved to be with someone who actually respects me equally. Hear through the grapevine that Vanessa got engaged to the new boyfriend quick. Apparently, they are planning wedding for later this year after dating 1 year. Someone asks if I'm bothered by it, and I say no. I dodged bullet. Hope he knows what he is getting into, but it is not my problem. Mutual friend who stayed neutral tells me Vanessa asked about me recently, asked if I'm seeing anyone and how I'm doing overall with life. Friend told her I'm doing great and happy with someone new now. Apparently, Vanessa got quiet and changed the subject after hearing that news. Another mutual friend tells me Vanessa's new fiancé signed the feminist prenup she wanted. Apparently, he agreed to all her terms because he wanted to prove he supports women. Friend says he makes less money than Vanessa, so prenup really screws him over. I feel bad for him, but he is adult who made his choice. Think about how close I came to marrying someone who did not respect me. The prenup situation revealed that Vanessa saw me as financial resource, not partner. She was willing to exploit me financially while claiming it was about feminism and protection. Walking away was hard, but it was right decision for my future and happiness. Alicia and I talk about marriage more seriously now after a year together. We both agree we want prenup that is fair to both of us equally. We will protect what we each bring in and share what we build together. That is what real partnership looks like. Not one person taking advantage of other. Sometimes feminist prenup is just code for one-sided exploitation of your partner. Sometimes demands for protection are really demands for unfair advantage over you completely. Sometimes walking away before wedding is better than signing away your financial future forever. And sometimes fiancé who demands prenup, protecting only her collapses when you call her bluff.
If this confession kept you hooked, make sure to subscribe, like, and share. We share powerful true stories every day that explore the complex realities of life.